I wish I invented this term, the thousand cock stare. Yeah, it's this notion that a woman who has had too many sexual partners has a particular kind of look to her eyes, okay? Now, this isn't the case that every girl who is exceptionally promiscuous has this look. No. There are some girls who look like, little angels who are incredibly promiscuous. I can think of several offhand, but that's not the point. The point is, see, there are these women who have this look to their eye, and it's very obvious to a man. Interestingly enough, it's not so obvious to women. Yeah, the look, to define it, I'm not going to put up any photographic examples on this video because I don't want to get any copyright strike or any nonsense like that. But the look is basically glassy. There's like this hard look to a woman's eye. It's sort of like glassy. It's kind of, it's hard to define, yeah? But there's this look, and it's like a knowing look. A knowing look, a hard look, a glassy-eyed look. And it's sort of like a little bit jarring on the one hand, but at the same time very attractive. And of course it's very attractive because you realize that the girl who has this thousand cock stare, this hard glassy look to her, yeah, she's willing to have sex with you whenever you want to. Yeah, because she's promiscuous, because she's just DTF, down to fuck. Yeah. And of course it's very attractive, but the reason it's a little jarring is interesting. It's a little jarring because a man naturally does not want to be with a promiscuous woman. Of course not. Naturally, in the evolutionary sense. Because from an evolutionary perspective, if a man gets with a promiscuous woman, he might wind up raising another man's child. He'll never be really sure. And I suspect that that's why men can spot this look, and women, oddly enough, cannot. Yeah, I once had a contest with a friend of mine in college. We were sort of like pointing out girls in college who had this look, right? And she couldn't see it. I mean, she knew that there were certain girls who were promiscuous in college, but she was sort of like blind to this look that a promiscuous woman would have, this thousand cock stare. She just couldn't see it, oddly enough. And this girl, this friend of mine, she was a normal girl. She had had sex. She wasn't a virgin. We were like 22, I would suppose, at that time, or 23. She had had sex with boyfriends, but she was not, by any stretch of the imagination, promiscuous, right? And so perhaps it's something that her lack of promiscuity prevented her from seeing it. I don't know. I've spoken casually to some other women, and they also don't seem to recognize this look. Now, it could be that they're lying, of course. I mean, women always lie. Women always lie, especially about the reputation of other women, okay? Because, talking shit about another woman is a big no-no among women, unless you have good reason to do it, okay? So it could be that they were lying. It doesn't really matter. The point is, see, as far as I know, women have a bit of a blind spot to this look, but guys don't have a blind spot to this look. Guys consistently recognize it, and sometimes they recognize it without being able to articulate it, which is why I'm doing this video. Yeah, you meet a girl with a thousand cock stare, yeah? You understand that she's promiscuous. You understand that she is catch and release. You want to have a fun time with her, a one-night stand or a nice long weekend, go for it, right? Any kind of relationship, you're high, you're on drugs, you're a fool. Don't. Never, ever, ever try to have any kind of relationship with a girl who has a thousand cock stare. Of course not. It would be insane of you to do so, because she's going to leave you. Yeah, and don't give me this stuff that, she's changed and, it's true love and all this bullshit. Oh, screw that, okay? A girl who's got that look, that hard, glassy look to her eye, that it's a kind of toughness, okay? And it's really interesting because there are girls sometimes, like models especially, they try to pretend to have that look because they want to look sexy, right? And it's really interesting because you can't fake that look, Even girls who try their hardest to look as slutty as possible, that's why I'm mentioning models, because a lot of times they try to do that, right? They try as hard as possible to fake that look, but you can always kind of tell, You can always tell, if it's genuine or they're just faking it, right? if it's really some like innocent girl who has not had 1,000 different sexual partners, who's trying to pretend to be all slutty for the sake of the picture, versus a girl who really is like that, you can always tell. And for the life of me, I do not know why, but it's the case. Oh yeah. Now, by the way, see, not all women who are promiscuous have this look to their eye. Okay? I mean, I got to make that really crystal clear. It's not that all promiscuous girls have this look. Rather, all girls who have this look are promiscuous. And this look cannot be faked. There's something about it that you know for a fact it's genuine. Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, because there are lots of girls who look incredibly innocent, but are complete sluts. I mean, hell, I can think of two right off the bat. There was Grace Kelly, the actress, right? Grace Kelly, the actress, you look at a picture of her and she looks like a princess. Well, she married the Prince of Monaco and became Princess Grace, right? But she was a slut. She was a nymphomaniac, okay? I mean, she wasn't merely a slut. No. She had clearly some sort of psychological problems, because the contemporaries of her have said how she would have sex with everything that crossed her path. Everything. Every guy. I mean, it would be a big movie star or an electrician on a film set. She would have sex with him. She had an itch that no amount of dick could scratch, okay? And she was famous for it, and yet her pictures, she looks like this perfect little angel, for crying out loud, okay? There's one example. And another example I can think offhand, and I know this for a fact, is this model, Miranda Kerr, you know? The one who married the owner of Snapchat, that guy, Evan Siegel, I think his name. Yeah, well, Miranda Kerr, I know for a fact that she is the biggest slut ever. She has banged everything, okay? And yet you look at her and she looks like this perfect little innocent angel, yeah? You cannot tell if a girl, just because she looks like an angel, is a promiscuous girl. But if they have that 1,000-cock stare, you know who they are. Oh, by the way, a quick parenthesis about Miranda Kerr, right? That girl is the biggest gold digger ever, okay? She married Orlando Bloom, the actor, when it looked like he was going to be a big deal. She married him thinking that, you know, she was buying futures on a very profitable corporation, right? But then Orlando Bloom's career was a bust, right? And what'd she do? She ditched that guy, right? She got with a couple of Australian billionaires, and she literally pulled that stunt of like, why don't you two guys fight over me? Yeah, she actually did that. James Packer and some buddy of his, another billionaire, they came to blows over her. Not kidding, yeah. And then she wound up hooking up with this guy from Snapchat, right? Evan Siegel is his name, or Spiegel, something like that. Anyway, this moron, okay, a moron. I mean, he was a real incel, right? And she's incredibly hot. I mean, she's like this big-time supermodel, right? He wound up, get this was actually true. He wound up proposing to her and not sleeping with her because she convinced him somehow. She convinced this moron incel that the good thing would be for them not to have sex until their wedding night, right? She's got him on a string. And I think that in maybe 2, 3, 4 years, right? She's going to knock out a couple of kids of his, right? And she is going to take him to the cleaners. The guy's a billionaire now, but when she's done with him, she'll be the billionaire and he'll be a pauper, you know, at the unemployment line. Yeah, I guarantee it, because that's the kind of girl she is. Oh, it's so funny. I mean, I just had to make this quick parenthesis. Okay, back to the video. And a quick parenthesis to the parentheses. You know, I love gossip rags. I love all that crap. And do you know why? Because all this gossip shit, right? It talks about human truths. You knock gossip rags, right? Daily Mail and who's fighting who and blah, 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 you know. And it's all really sad and pathetic, you know, and stupid and trivial. I mean, it really is trivial, the height of triviality, right? But at the same time, all of that gossip crap that appears in all these gossip rags, right? They reveal human truths, yeah? No different from Dostoevsky. Of course, it's not written in as beautiful prose as Dostoevsky, and it doesn't have the neat and clever psychological explanation to what's going on, but it's still no less human. On the contrary, the very tawdriness of the gossip rags and all the rest of it reveal an even greater human truth. Don't knock wisdom just because it comes from an unpalatable source, because many times the greatest insights into human beings come from the most surprising sources. Okay, now really back to the video. I'm trying to remember, and I can't quite remember when it was that I first noticed the thousand cock stare, when I noticed that women had this look. I sort of like sensed it when I was a very young teenager with a couple of women that I knew. I mean, obviously they were adult women and I was like something like 13, 14. And I kind of like sensed it, but I couldn't articulate it. And in point of fact, you know, I didn't come up with the title thousand cock stare. I hadn't even heard of it until, I don't know, I must have been in college in the early 90s or something like that when I first heard it, okay? And of course the expression comes from the look that Vietnam veterans would have. They called the 1,000-yard stare, because they'd seen death and they'd inflicted death from 1,000 yards away, and they had that look to them, and it was this faraway look. Okay, and so yeah, that's where the idea of the 1,000 cock stare comes from, and it is very true, and it makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Now, there's something else about women with the 1,000 cock stare. There's something else about promiscuous women, quite frankly. See, promiscuous women are into drama. They will manufacture drama. They will create drama. They are extremely dangerous to you in that regard. A promiscuous woman who has you in her crosshairs, a woman with a 1,000 cock stare who for some reason stops liking you and decides that you're her enemy and is going to get you for some reason, whatsoever it may be. Maybe it's legitimate, maybe it's completely something in her head, right? She can cause a lot of damage, okay? You want to stay away from them, okay, in general. If you're not sure if you can handle a woman like that, if you're not sure that you have the ruthlessness and the son of a bitchness to deal with a promiscuous woman like this, keep your distance from her. Don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. Don't think that you can handle her. There are so many men who have been consumed, eaten alive by promiscuous women whom they thought they could handle. Huh? Clint Eastwood said it best, you know, a man's got to know his limitations. You start dealing with a girl with a 1,000 cock stare, you gotta have your shit together. It better be tight as fuck. Because a girl like that, she'll fuck you up. Oh yeah, she can hurt you. And she'll cause all kinds of drama, all kinds of garbage that can hurt your business, hurt your career, hurt your social life, and wind up tossing you into jail. Yeah. You'll find that a lot of women, that it turns out that they were definitely lying about rape or some violent sexual assault. You'll find that a lot of those women are promiscuous women, are girls with that 1,000 cock stare. And they were vindictive. That's the thing about them. They are exceptionally vindictive, and they will come back to hurt you bad. Yeah. And you want to stay away from them. Yeah. Like on YouTube, for instance, there's one woman that I know for a fact has this look, Brittany Venti. I stayed the hell away from her. Oh yeah, she's some vindictive slut. You can tell just by looking at her. She's got that look, that hard, glassy 1,000 cock stare. You want to stay away from every woman like that. If you can handle her. If you can handle her, or you dare to try, well, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah, because a promiscuous woman, she's gonna know how to have sex. Oh yeah, she's gonna blow your mind and blow some other things too while she's at it. But it's gonna be an experience. Oh yeah, I mean, we've all been there. You know that, I know that, we all know that. We've all been there. We've all partaken in that really slutty girl who's just really good at sex, right? But you gotta keep your cool and be smart and never, ever, ever lose your head over her or fall for her. Know that she is catch and release at best. And if you're not sure, just stay away from her.